Welcome to HRTV Rewind. I'm Lafitte Pinkai, here to take you through the week that was on HRTV. Harness racing took center stage on Saturday night in the Hoosier State as Indiana Downs held the Indiana Sire Stakes Finals.
Gone BB has the stage all to herself now. Winningest Indiana Sire horse ever in 152.
Go on, BB. Much the best. History right here on HRTV. Go on, BB. Gear down. Well, it did take 4/5 of a second off that time from the 4th of September, but no challenge. 4-3 in a photo.
Watch this move that this mare makes on the backside with Ricky McCumber Jr.
5th,
in the
4th,
sulky. Yeah, there she comes.
3rd,
See her?
2nd.
She is just that much faster.
And that's funny because Widger's trying to slow things down and back everybody up with the 6, and Go on, BB saying, you go ahead and back everybody up because I'm going to go right on by.
It's like an NFL team playing against a college team in race 12 at Indiana Downs.
From one state to another, we're less than 2 weeks away from shining the spotlight on Maryland for the Jim McKay Maryland Million.
It's definitely a great event. It's as you guys know, you lived it last year. It's about the breeding, and it's a state-sired program. It was the first one that was ever done in the country, and it's been copied by 20 or 22 states, and it's still a tremendously successful program.
Mike, how important is it that it's now entitled the Jim McKay Maryland Million?
Well, that's big for folks back here. I mean, obviously, you guys are in L.A., and the folks that are watching from around the country. Jim McKay was a Baltimore guy. He went to high school and college and began his broadcasting career in Baltimore, and it remained his home. And he's the one that came up with the concept of the Maryland Million, coming home from the first Breeders' Cup, and remained the chairman of the board until his death. So it was a real big deal here locally, and it was officially signed by the governor in April, and it really didn't get any fanfare because of all that's going on politically and whatnot. So we're going to have a little press event a week from today, kind of officially announcing the name. But he was a special guy and still loved Maryland racing. Probably more than 99% of the people out there, even up to his death.
A horse racing legend paid a visit to Race Day America. Dwayne Lucas is hopeful about this 2-year-old colt.
You've had a lot of success in the past, having won this race 5 times. Is there anything that you can attribute that to?
I'm looking for number 6. The thing with Dublin is that you try to find out the whole secret, I think, of training a racehorse is to find out what he does best. I think what his strengths are is that he's got, even though he's a big, powerful horse and wanting 2 turns, I think he's got pretty good tactical speed. Now, when he won up here, he ran in 109 and 2. That's pretty significant for a 2-year-old, even sprinting. And what he does is I think, and hopefully, he will get into the race and lay in a position where he can clock that speed and not give himself too much to do in the final quarter.
Dublin wandering to the outside, but Dublin's got a narrow lead now. Aspire comes on through in between horses as they come down to the finish, and it is Dublin who wins the hopeful by 2 lengths on the wire.
On Pursuit of the Cup, Zoe Cadman provided us with the latest HRTV diary. This week's star is Kelly Leak.
In that race, finishing 3rd was Kelly Leak. He's best known for beating Mind That Bird, eventual Kentucky Derby winner in the Sunland Derby. And we're going to follow his trek towards the Philadelphia Park, Pennsylvania Derby, and introduce something we like to call Carrot Camp.
Here we are, the land of slots and money. Philadelphia Park, 6:30 a.m. Go time. Let's see how he looks. Kelly Leak, what do you think about Philadelphia Park? Not quite sure yet, are you? As you can see, I'm finally suited up in barn 30 at Philadelphia Park, so we're going to get this monkey out while he's not tearing down the barn. That's the way to the finish, Kelly. Take a good look. Carrot for Kelly. This might be Kelly's favorite thing in the whole world. Oh. Saturday afternoon, 12 o'clock. The race is being run. Kelly is watching very attentively. Hey Mike, any thoughts on how your horse is going to run in the big race tomorrow?
I think you run big.
Doing well.
Kelly's doing exactly what he does best. Not only can Kelly run on the grass, he's quite adept at eating it. What do you think, monkey? Lick it. What do you think, Kelly Welly? Race day. Kelly's being nice and quiet and calm. Let's have a quick look at our main competition. Our Edge walking by. Gone astray, let's hope he does. And number 1. 5-2, Kelly. Game face on.
Here in the gate. And they're off in the Pennsylvania Derby.
Come on, Kelly! Come on, Viking in second!
Gone astray, a decisive winner. Joined in the dance with second. Kelly Leak was third.
Here we got little Kelly. A little tired, but nonetheless, he will live to fight again. Third place, we'll take it. He's looking for his carrots. Little itty bitty carrots. Bit good boy.
Zoe Cadman now joins us. Zoe, fabulous job. And not only did you document Kelly Leak's trek towards the Pennsylvania Derby, but you get on him and you're also a partial owner. How exciting is that, being a part of a team like this?
I'm telling you what, it's really been a great run for the year as well. We bought him last year as a 2-year-old, and he's just done more than we could ever have imagined. And he's a really cool horse to be around. I get on him not every day, but I work him, and he's just a fun horse to be around, and he loves carrots.
Did you have to feed him a carrot or coax him into the van with a carrot after this was all said and done?
Not exactly, but he just loves the game. He's a good boy.
Well, great job, and great job with the invent of the carrot cam, and might stick with the HRTV diary.
Also on Pursuit of the Cup, international correspondent Fanny Salmon gives us a closer look at last week's Grade 1 action for Longchamp.
The highlight this weekend in Longchamp was the Prix du Moulin, a race won by Miesque, Bravewood Pearl and Goldie Cova in the past. With Goldie Cova bypassing this year's edition, the race went to the English-trained Acclam, who had finished second in the Prix Jacques Le Marois last month, 6th length behind Goldie Cova.
But it was lovely to see him finally win a Group 1. He's a horse who's had a lot of ability, but a lot of problems to go with it. And I'm just very proud of him and pleased for him and for all the team who've worked so hard with him that he was able to win a Group 1.
A well-deserved first Group 1 for a 4-year-old colt whose career has been plagued with health issues, including a broken knee and a broken pelvis. When we first started talking about Breeders' Cup with Angus Gold, Sheikh Hamdam's manager, Acclam's name was the first one to come up, and that trip is still a possibility.
I'm sure Sheikh Hamdan will want to run him at Ascot in the Queen Elizabeth II if he's still in good form, and after that I'm sure he would consider the Breeders' Cup.
What else have we learned from the Moulin? Well, I know Oiseau de Feu has been on the list this summer, but it now looks like there will be no Breeders' Cup on the agenda for the Jean-Claude Rougier trainee, who now runs in the colours of Sheikh Hamdan and is scheduled to ship to Dubai this winter for this campaign. The other news came from Elusive Wave, the very talented 3-year-old miler who took the Guineas in Longchamp this spring, but would not come out of the gate for the Moulin, leaving her puzzled connection wondering what happened. Elusive Wave can now make her next start in the Prix La Forêt on October 3rd with earplugs and maybe the help of a horse whisperer. When I asked her owner Martin Schwartz about the Breeders' Cup, he answered with a lot of humor. She has trouble leaving the gates, so leaving the country would be very optimistic.
When HRTV Rewind returns, we close out a great meet at the Spa and open up the doors to Belmont Park.
And an upset here in the Ruffian to Swift Temper.
Quality Road returns a winner in the Amsterdam.
And it's Kensei who's widening away now. Kensei takes the Jim Dandy by 2. Telling trying to hold on here for the upset. Telling a 33-1 winner of the Sword Dancer.
They're off and they're smoking out of the gate. Looking for the champagne and the caviar. Freddie the Cap in front. On the outside, it's a 0 trap. And room for victory. Freddie the Cap in front.
Forever Together coming with giant strides, and there she is to win the Diana again. Forever Together. And here comes Flashing to take the lead. It's Flashing in front on the line. And a breakthrough performance by Careless Jewel, Music Note, who repels is the Challenge of Indian Blessing. His icon project turning the personal ensign into an absolute rout. Oh, dominating the competition. If you could call it competition, Bulls Bay has colored commentator in Bulls Bay. Bulls Bay, a short lead. Bulls Bay and Jeremy Rose, the upset winners of the 2009 Whitney Stakes. And on behalf of the New York Racing Association, we wish you a healthy and happy retirement. It's Summer Bird in front, the winner of the Travers, and the Belmont is Summer Bird. Rachel Alexandra, Macho again. They're coming down to the finish. It's going to be desperately close. Here's the wire. Rachel won. She is indeed Rachel Alexandra the Great.
What a meet it was at the Spa, jam-packed once again with incredible stakes action. Finishing the meet at the top was Linda Rice.
We get a lot of surprises here on HRTV.
Girl power.
And we are very, very happy to have on the line a special guest, the first lady to win the title at Saratoga, trainer Linda Rice. Linda, welcome to HRTV.
Hello, Peter. How are you?
Fantastic. Let's right now, can you describe for us the feeling you have right now getting your first title at Saratoga?
Well, Saratogas have been very good to me over the years, and it's really exciting to win a training title anywhere, but winning at Saratoga, it just makes it even better, and I'm thrilled.
Linda, you won the very first race on opening day. Did you feel like you were going to have a big Saratoga meet?
You know, I thought we were. I thought we were going to have a good meet, but the last 3 years I've had good meets at Saratoga. I was tied for second 2 years ago, and then last year we had a little trouble with the weather. It rained a lot, and a lot of my horses' races were taken off the turf. But I thought winning the first race opening day was a good omen, but I didn't. Of course, I didn't have any idea to end up, to win the training title. So it was really exciting.
Stuart Janney III stopped by Race Day America, paying tribute to the great ruffian.
It's what an extraordinary presence she had when she went out on the racetrack. And, of course, maybe it was in part because she was a lot bigger than all the fillies she was running against, but just the way people talk about, Rachel Alexander having an awareness of how special she is and responding to the crowds. Ruffian did very much the same thing, and then the gates would open, and once again you'd see this incredible athletic display. It was like, in a way, it was like watching an Olympic sprinter run against a pack of school kids, and it was pretty extraordinary. And I can remember, in all her races, as she would come into the stretch, and then just suddenly she just move away from all the other horses, and that's always a pretty special thing when your horse does that. She just did it time and time again.
With a furlong to go, Luna Vega runs in third. Swift Temper is the leader. 7th Street is full out, and now a length behind, and she will be beaten. And an upset here in the Ruffian to Swift Temper.
As a 2-year-old, Girolamo broke his maiden first time out impressively. After a 10-month layoff, he's back and 2 for 2 for Godolphin Blue.
Girolamo is in command at the quarter pole, leading by a length. Alan Garcia steals a peek back to check out the competition. American dances in an all-out drive, but still second on the inside. Now Garcia says go with Girolamo, and he is going indeed. Opening up here a 3-length lead in a blink of an eye. And then even Reyes moves through in between horses. American Dance down toward the inside. Girolamo eased at the wire. Oh, this is a very interesting 3-year-old son of AP&D.
Coming up on HRTV Rewind, a life-size bobblehead jockey.
The human bobblehead, that's James Graham.
And Steve Asmussen has another milestone.
And that's going to be career victory number 5,000 for winning trainer Steve Asmussen.
It is good to be
Where
Steve
do you
Asmussen.
go from there?
What do James Graham and Chad Ochocinco have in common? Well, they both know how to celebrate after a score. Child, please.
James, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Carolyn. How are you?
Wonderful. How are you doing?
Good, not too bad.
Well, I'd have to say you're doing much better than that after your Monday that you had winning 2 grade 3s. Was that something that you anticipated on the Labor Day Monday?
Not at all, Scott. It was just I was hoping for good, clean trips, and that's what we got.
James, we're showing back the winner's circle with Hot Cha-Cha, part of your Monday success. And every time you pass the camera after a win, I've got to ask you this. You do this little nod thing, this little bobblehead is what Lafitte has tagged it as. Where did this come from?
It came from a horse I rode in Louisiana, actually. He was a little funky going. Every time he hit the ground, his head would shake, and I told the owner, he just got a bad way of going, but he tries, you know. After he had won twice with me, Joel Santiago says, oh, he shakes his head worse than any horse I've ever seen, but he was just a big, heavy horse, and he hit the ground real hard, and you'd see him down the lane, his head would start shaking towards the wire, he'd start getting laid on you. But after that, I said, well, we could do that. That wouldn't be too bad, but it's only here I do it, and the kids seem to like it that come out to Arlington because it's very family-orientated, you know, and I like the fans. They do a good job. They keep you enthusiastic about the work you do, you know.
Well, it'll be fitting when they do come up with the James Graham bobblehead then. We'll be looking for that.
We're going to take a break. As we do, we'll take a look at the human bobblehead. That's James Graham at Arlington Park. We'll be right back.
Passion Rules is running huge. Passion Rules by 8. And that's going to be career victory number 5,000 for winning trainer Steve Asmussen, the 7th with Passion Rules, and he did it easily.
You know, the mark of a champion for a jockey in terms of wins seems to be that 5,000 win plateau. Yeah. For a trainer to reach 5,000, just astronomical. And I realize he has a lot of horses in a large operation, but by virtue of his training abilities, his assistants, and his owners allowing him to place his horses in spots where they can be effective, the sky's the limit for what Steve Asmussen is going to do in the future. And already 5,000 wins, training the likes of Curlin, Rachel Alexandra. It is good to be
Where
Steve
do you go
Asmussen.
from there? Where do you go from training a filly like Rachel Alexandra? I mean, what do you get up for in the morning after that? It's tough.
Steve Asmussen would still be a few wins shy of 5,000 if not for the great Curlin, who was remembered on Pursuit of the Cup.
A 3-horse race as they turn for home in the big one. Hard spun, but Curlin is breathing down his neck. Street Sense literally scraping the paint, but Curlin strikes the front, and Curlin is powerhousing home. Hard spun, Street Sense could not go on, and it's all Curlin in the race of the year. For horse of the year, it's Curlin in an absolutely stylish performance. Curlin and Robbie Alvarado win it easy.
The great ones handle themselves differently, and he loves the spotlight. He's a bit of a ham. I think the thing that comes to mind the most with Curlin is intelligence. What grabs you immediately about Curlin, anybody who sees him for the first time, is his size. It's not his height, it's his girth, his width across his chest and his muscle, and he is a very massive type horse. And for a horse to be constructed like that and have the stamina that he had is a really, it's quite a unique combination.
In the race of the year, for horse of the year, it's Curlin.
Richest horse in the history of the sport, 2-time Horse of the Year, Curlin. Jeff, would he go down as one of the best you've ever seen?
Well, he was very, very good. Of course, I go back 50 years to Round Table and Swaps. I got a long list of horses to choose from, but he certainly was outstanding when he was racing, and I think he's going to make a great stallion. He's a great-looking horse.
With the emergence of synthetic tracks across the country, you have to adjust your handicapping, the ATO boys explain.
The one thing that I do know is that no two are alike. I remember when synthetics first came around a few years ago, a friend of mine in the press box says he didn't want to see them come. I said, why? He says, because it takes our edge away. I said, number one, I didn't even know we had an edge. Number two is, what edge are you talking about? Well, they'll all be the same and there'll no track bias. Well, that's not true at all. As a matter of fact, they're all different. And just because a horse likes one surface doesn't mean he's going to like the other. Kind of like dirt a little bit there.
Absolutely.
I think so.
Yeah.
And don't forget also, without the kickback, you're going to get horses bunch at the wire. So you get beat 5 lengths. It sounds like, oh, you only got beat 5 lengths. Hey, the horse was never in the race. You got to watch the races because horses will finish together.
Boy, I agree
because
with
without that kickback, kind of skews the margins of defeat, kind of fools you a little bit. So you got to be careful.
And that's one of my points, Jeff, is when you look at races as far as on dirt, synthetic, or turf, a lot of times you can gauge them by the interior fractions. And that's not something that you can do anymore because there's deep closers coming 49 and change of the half, and the race was dominated by closers. How do you figure that out?
That's why time is so irrelevant on these tracks because pace affects the final time.
Yeah.
You can go 3/4 in 1:14 and finish out fast. The final time looks slow. The number is bad. Doesn't mean a thing.
Doesn't mean a
forget
thing.
about that. You know, Aaron, I'll tell you one thing. I want to give you a little a bit of advice. At Del Mar, we're talking about California now, horses coming off that track at Del Mar, the poly track, it was very difficult for them to accelerate. Here, that same horse who was hanging at Del Mar, he might be flying by everybody at Oak Tree. So watch for the closers who didn't do so well at Del Mar. They might do a whole lot better here during the Oak Tree meeting.
Looking at the charts much more important than looking at the fractions. Right. Looking at the race replays, much more important than looking at the fractions. And I said I enjoy the synthetics because it brings a new handicapping challenge. Some will use it as an excuse for a loss. I simply look at it as a chance for more value.
Keeneland's September yearling sale is now on the horizon, and Mark Taylor has the 411 on this year's edition.
What has been the main part of your success? To what do you attribute this success to?
We're not distracted by trying to manage a big portfolio of our own broodmares and things like that. And I think it's just always having that mindset of feeling like we're partners with the customer on what end result they get. And I just think that mindset has kind of carried over and driven every aspect of our company. And really, it's just it's the customers that buy from us and the customers that sell with us, I think, have driven the whole thing. And we've just been along for the ride and tried to manage it and keep serving them on both ends of the transaction as good as we could.
How much does advertising play into your concept of getting the names of these horses out there, or what you guys have done in the past to the public?
You know, we've flown planes over Keeneland with big trailers on there advertising hip numbers and updates, much to the chagrin of some of our competitors. But, you know, one year we chartered a 747 and flew all the buyers back from the Breeders' Cup down at Gulfstream. And on the plane, we had videos of all our mares races we were selling and all the, you know, all the airline attendants were dressed in tailor-made uniforms and everything. So we've always been trying to think larger than life and create unique and very long-lasting impressions with buyers and sellers.
Mark, thanks a lot.
Okay, well, thank you all very much, and I appreciate everything you do at HRTV. It is looking back 10 years ago when we didn't have the luxury of HRTV and used to scrounge around and you couldn't find races, and if you missed it, you never got to see it. It's just such an incredible, just great innovation that the industry's come up with. So you all do an awesome job, and I really appreciate it.
That's it for HRTV Rewind. Here's a look at what HRTV has in store for you this week.